This is a fuel mileage report on my 2017 Ford F350 King Ranch. This is the year 2018. So I wanted to, I'm very meticulous of keeping really good records on my truck. These mileage, average MPGs are hand calculated. The formulas are built into the spreadsheet here. And they're also color coded. Anything under 15 is going to be red. Anything between 15 and I think 17 miles to the gallon will be amber. Anything over 18 miles to the gallon will be green. You can see, starts with the month, the date, fuel costs, miles driven, driving conditions, gallons filled, average MPGs, and total costs. Then I also started to monitor my regens. You can see regen start miles, as in the mileage it started. And that is, I monitor that with the OCR because I have that turned on so I can monitor my DPF status and how full it gets. So when it hits 100%, I jot down the mileage, and then when it gets to 0, regen complete, I jot down the mileage again. And then I calculate that, and how many miles between, and then, takes, like for this first one here, 21 January, regen started at 3,326 miles, completed at 3,354 miles. Total time to regen, or total mileage to as it was in regen, was 28 miles. So it took 28 miles to regen from 100% down to 0. You can see I monitored regens consistently for a while, but it was getting tedious, and around the early May, late April, I stopped because it's too much to monitor. There's a few OCRs regens in there, and OCR means it's a manual regen. So I initiated regen in park, and I already have videos on that. So I don't need to go into that. Anyway, so I stopped monitoring that because it's just getting tedious. So anyways, you can see early this year, mileage wasn't really that great. A lot of red there, some amber, some green. There was a trip to Florida I made, from North Carolina to Florida. I think it was from February 16th through the 18th. And you can see there, all highway, right? 16, 17 miles to the gallon, not that great. This is all highway, and that's because of all these regens. So, really irritating. Regens kill fuel mileage. I don't care what anyone says. I have the data to back it up. So, anyways, so we keep going, as we begin to move out of winter into spring, and then, boom, look at that. Late May into early June, my fuel mileage is fantastic. So I made another trip to Florida. You see 15 June through 18 June. Look at that fuel mileage. 18, 21, 19, 19. The mix there was I was driving in town, in and around the Tampa area. So you can see the fuel mileage is just fantastic. I was able to get 21 miles to the gallon out of the F350. 21. That's fantastic. And these are speeds between 70 and 80 miles an hour. Because, everyone knows when you're going down 95 to Florida, it's between 65 and 70. And if you're doing 70, you can do 75. You can legally do 5 over. Unfortunately, people don't pay attention to the law, and then they just, speed. So anyways, so you can see that the fuel mileage really isn't bad. This truck gets phenomenal fuel mileage, and I'm very satisfied with it. It's nowhere near my Ram. The Ram Cummins got better fuel mileage, and I'll show you that. So I'm really particular about my mileage, and I keep really good records. So this is my 16 Ram. See there? This is 2016 report. So hold on here. Let me try to pull this up and try to figure this out here, so you guys can see. So in 2016 January, you can see that there's a lot of green here, a lot of green, and it's everything over 20 miles to the gallon. Now my Ram, my color coding was different. Anything over 20 would get green. So anything under 20 would be amber, and then anything I think under 15 would be red. But you can see here, look at that, 23 miles to the gallon, 22 miles to the gallon, a lot. This truck was getting over 20 miles to the gallon consistently. And this is stock. This truck's not deleted. Look at this one, 24 miles to the gallon. That was, what date was that? That is 7th May 2016. 24 miles to the gallon. Look at this other one here. 19 May 2016, 25 miles to the gallon. 25. So the Ram gets way better fuel mileage stock than my Ford ever did. I mean, the Ram, but that's to be expected. The Ram is a 6-cylinder. It's a straight 6. Same displacement, 6.7, but 2 less cylinders. So you're always going to get better fuel mileage. So anyway, so I just wanted to touch on that. But the Ford, you know, I got the Ford because the Ford's an amazing truck. I'm so happy with the Ford. Maintenance is easier, you know, changing the oil is easier. The fuel filters are really easy and no mess, as you know, I made a video on that already. But, you know, late May, early June, my truck is doing a lot better in fuel. So I'm very satisfied, very happy with the truck. Yeah, you know, just don't drive like an idiot, you know, like a young kid, you know, when you gotta hammer down every time you go from a stoplight. You don't need to do that. You know, I roll into my acceleration. I don't hammer down. I'm very easy on the throttle. I baby the truck. I really do. I baby the truck. So, but I also use really good oils. I use Rotella T6. I change oil every 10,000 miles. I'm at 16,000 miles now. The fuel filters, I plan to follow the same schedule as my Ram, every 15,000 miles. Now the manual states you can go up to 30,000 miles. 30,000 miles, that's a lot. But I plan to change it every 15,000. Filters are cheaper than the Ram anyways, and it's not that bad, and it's way easier to change out, so not a big deal. But yeah, I just want to show that, you know, you can get good fuel mileage out of these trucks. Maybe I'll add another column that has, you know, average, you know, speed. I know the Rams monitored that. I don't think the Ford does, but, you know, I could put in there, you know, the speeds I was driving, particularly the highway speeds. Now, city is obviously city. And when I mean city, I live 7 minutes away from my office on base. 7 minutes. So I don't do any highway driving. It's really city. And I go from the office to the motor pool to headquarters all day long. So I'm constantly doing, you know, a lot of stop and go driving. And you can see here, the city driving is not bad. It's in the amber, whereas earlier in the year, look at that city, you know, 13, look at that city, 12 miles to the gallon. Look at this one, city, 10 miles to the gallon. Horrible, absolutely horrible. But the truck is doing much better. And as I fill this sheet out, as we transition into the months, I will continue to update, and then I'll have another update video later on this year.